All right, guys, we're going to be talking about 10.7b, area of circles, sectors, and segments. And our mission is I can find the area of sectors and segments within circles. So let's start where we have already been starting, and actually where we've been over the past couple of days. Let's just talk about the area of a circle. So, for example, if I had a circle here and I had a line that goes through the center and goes to both sides, what is that called? If you guess diameter, you are absolutely correct. And let's say that that diameter is 8 feet, for example. And I wanted to find the area of this circle. So remember, when we're talking about area, we're talking about the space that this occupies, right? So this entire space here, what would that be? So remember, our formula that we use for that is area equals pi r squared. And so I need to have the radius here. But you'll notice that I've been given diameter. So the first thing I have to do is I have to think about the fact, well, the radius would just be from the center to the outside here. So that means it would be half of that diameter. And so 1/2 of 8 is actually 4. And so this would be area equals pi 4 squared, which would be 16 pi feet squared. Okay, if I was leaving this in terms of pi, obviously if I needed to go ahead and multiply this completely out, I could do that as well. But for most cases, you can just leave this as 16 pi feet squared, right? Well, what in the world are we talking about when we're talking about sectors and segments? What in the world is that? I want you to think, okay, in terms of food maybe. And let's just say we went and we bought a pizza. And pizzas typically are sliced up into 8 slices, and that's about the way a pizza looks, right? You got one big, huge piece that everybody wants, and then you got this little small sliver. But let's just imagine, for example, that I didn't need to find the area of the whole pizza, but for example, I just needed to find, say, the area of this little sliver right here. Okay, so in that case, I would be talking about a sector. Okay, I'm not talking about the whole pizza. I'm just talking about this particular part of the pizza. Okay, so when we're looking for sectors, that's what we're talking about. So I want you to understand that this is still based on area because I'm still talking about the area of the circle, but I'm just not talking about the entire area. Okay, so let's look at an example here. So let's say I have this circle, and all right, pretty good. 7 centimeters is my radius. And I'm going to go ahead and do something here as well, which should help you kind of think about what we're doing here. So let's say I wanted to find this area right here. I wanted to find this sector, okay? So I want you to think about the fact that I'm still dealing with area. The only difference is now I'm not talking about the area of the whole entire circle. I'm just talking about this blue shaded area, okay? So I'm still going to use the area formula, area equals pi r squared. And obviously we're already given the radius right here. And so I know that that needs to be substituted in right there. So area equals pi r squared, or pi times 7 squared. So the area of that entire circle would be 49 pi squared. But now I want you to think about how much of this circle we're actually talking about, okay? Because this would be the area of the whole circle, but I'm asked to find the area of just this blue portion. So let's think about what we have. Think about in a circle, you have 360 degrees, correct? So how much of this circle are we actually talking about? Well, the biggest indicator is right here, right? It's this little right angle box. And so we're not talking about the entire 360 degrees. We're actually talking about 90 degrees of the circle. So it works just like it did for circumference. We're going to take 90 divided by 360. Okay, and 90 divided by 360 means that we are looking for 1/4 of the area. Okay, so if this area here is our whole area of the whole circle, but really I'm just looking for 1/4, then what I need to do with this particular problem is I need to take this 49 pi, okay, and I'm sorry, I put a little squared thing here. We didn't need that. All right, I'm taking my 49 pi and I'm going to multiply that times the 1/4, okay? Because I only need 1/4 of this. Now, let's think about how we can actually combine this and kind of make this together. Well, think about any number can be written as a fraction. So this 49 could be written as 49 over 1. When we multiply straight across. So 1 times 49 is 49. 4 times 1 is 4. So we have 49/4 pi centimeters squared, okay? This would be the area of this sector that we're actually looking for because, again, it's not the whole circle, it's just part of that circle. So one of the first things you have to figure out is you have to figure out how much of the circle am I actually looking for. So again, all you're going to do that is you are going to take whatever degree measure you have, divide it by 360, and that is going to give you a fraction, or again, a fraction of that circle. Take that fraction and multiply that times the area formula right here, and that will give you your answer, okay? So now let's talk about segments, because if sectors is like a slice of the pizza, then let's use our pizza example again, and let's think about what a segment would be, okay? So again, if I were just throwing out an example here, let's again make it simple on ourselves. Okay, and let's say that this is 10 centimeters. And here's what's going on this time. This time I have a line right here, and we'll just use that same color blue just because we kind of understand that's what we're looking for. And so now I'm looking for that area, okay? And think about, if you're thinking about a pizza, think about the crust of the pizza, all right? A lot of people don't even like the pizza. They just want the crust, all right? My son, I know he gets not advertising for Little Caesars here, but he gets the crazy combo all the time. He loves the breadsticks part, right? So he don't even really like the cheese. He just likes the bread. So think about if I were just trying to find the area of this crust. Well, it's still a part of the circle, right? It's still a part of this circle, but it's only this particular part right here. If you think about it, here's really a sector. The only difference is I don't really need the triangle portion. Notice that this makes a triangle here. So I don't really need the triangle portion of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little help with this one as well. Okay. So one of the first things we need to do here is we need to think about the area of the sector. So what I want you to realize is what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of this entire thing, including this part that's already blue. Okay. And then we're actually going to subtract out this part in here. That is the triangle. Okay, so that's the way we're going to find a segment. So first you start with the area of the sector. Start right segment. So you're going to take the area of the sector and then you're going to subtract out the triangle portion. Okay, so let's do the same math that we did a few minutes ago. First, let's figure out how much of this circle are we actually talking about. Well, again, I've got the 90 degree here, the 90 degree box. So 90 divided by 360 means that I'm actually talking about 1/4 of this circle, okay? So now let's talk about how do we find the area of the circle. Well, again, area equals pi r squared. So we know that our radius here is 10. Put that in red right here. So that means I'm going to have 10 squared, which equals 100 pi, okay? So if I'm talking about the area of the sector, I'm going to have 1/4 times 100 pi. And again, if I multiply that out, I'm going to get 25 pi as my answer. So again, I want you to think about this being the entire green portion right here. If we were to even include the part that's blue right now, then that would equal 25 pi, okay? But now I need to subtract out this triangle. Now, how in the world am I going to do that? Well, I want you to think about the fact that this 10 was a radius, which means if that right there is 10, then that means this right here as well has to be 10 centimeters. And what did we say the angle in between here is going to be? Well, the angle in between here is going to be 90 degrees, okay? So look, I've got a side, an angle, and a side. And luckily for us, we know now how to find the area of a triangle using trigonometry. Yes, we are going to use trigonometry to find the area of this triangle right here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that in green so that we know kind of what's going on. Again, area equals 1/2 BC sine of A. Okay, hopefully this is coming back to you from a couple of sections ago. So now we have area equals 1/2. B would be one of our sides, which is 10. Our other side is also 10, and sine of 90 degrees. Okay, you could put all this into the scientific calculator. And now, so really what I have as far as a problem, this here is my area of my triangle right here. Okay, this is the area of the whole thing. So if I want to find the blue section, what I'm actually going to do is take 25 pi minus all of this that's in here, okay, minus this green portion right here. And that is going to give me then the area of this segment right here. If I do all that math, I'm going to end up with an answer that is approximately 28.5 centimeters squared. Okay. So again, all we're doing here to find the area of a segment, and I want to go ahead and write that out here. This is a segment. To find the area of a segment, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the area of the sector, which we've already kind of did up above. I'm going to take 1/4 times 100 pi, and that gives me the 25 pi. Okay, then I'm going to find the area of just the triangle, which again, I can just put in my scientific calculator and figure out that that would in fact be, I'm going to give you a good number for that. That would in fact equal 50, believe it or not. Okay, it comes up to a good round number. And so I'm going to take the 25 pi minus 50, go ahead and put that in my calculator as well. 25 pi minus 50, and it actually gives me 28.5 if I round that to the nearest tenth, 28.5 centimeters squared. Okay, so that would be my final answer. So hopefully this has been helpful. I'm going to include some other videos as well from another teacher that may help with this as well, because I know this is a little bit of a complex subject. Segments and sectors. Okay, if you need any help, make sure that you reach out to us, and we'd be glad to try to help you with this.